Farm Bureau helps protect its members in more ways than you might think. They've always been the voice of agriculture in Arkansas, working on behalf of folks like me when nobody else would. And Farm Bureau stands for the values that Arkansas families care about. They've protected my right to farm and make a living, which helps everybody who likes food on the table. You know what they say, Arkansas counts on agriculture, and agriculture counts on Farm Bureau.
Well, the federal government shutdown and the debate over the debt ceiling have stolen the focus of another very important government policy decision, or perhaps indecision, and that's the Farm Bill. The U.S. House and the U.S. Senate still have not reconciled their differences over competing proposals. And with nearly 1/4 of the Arkansas economy focused on farming, there are problems arising. I sat down earlier with Butch Calhoun, Arkansas's Agriculture Secretary, to learn more about the impact of the Washington stalemate on the state's economy. Anything at the state level, though? Is there any way to patch through some of this to make it happen, or at least put a Band-Aid on it, or does it all come straight from the feds?
These are all directly federal programs that we're talking about that we really don't have anything to do with. Now, on a closer level to us, we're going to end up right now. The way I understand it, there's about 400 state employees that have been furloughed that are paid with federal funds, and this number may rise to up as much as 2,000 in the next few weeks as we look at the programs that are funded in the different state agencies, not just my department, but the different state agencies that are funded by federal dollars. If the money's not going to come in, then we're going to end up having to furlough those employees. But on the farmer standpoint, the biggest problem right now is the FSA office is being shut down, can't get their money. The EQIP programs, all those sort of things. NASS, the National Agricultural Statistics Service, that does all the reporting for all the crops so that people can see what the markets are doing, what's being cut in what states, where they're at, percentage of harvest, all that is flat and zero. Another thing that we're hearing on the government shutdown that could be causing a problem in the near future is the slowdown on the shipment on the Gulf. So at some point, these elevators are going to become full. It's going to create a real shipping backlog. So there may be some combines sitting that they don't have any place to dump their harvest.
So you're a farmer. I know from your childhood you've spent time on a tractor.
I made 30-some crops
Yeah.
before I retired.
So what do you do if you're a farmer and you're facing these challenges right now? You can't access the capital that you need to put stuff in the ground or harvest stuff out of the ground. You don't know where from the data that you described, you don't know what the markets are going to bear. What do you do as a farmer?
Well, as a farmer, the rice harvest is about all in. The corn harvest is about all in. What we're looking at is soybeans. And what we're hoping is that there's enough storage on these river ports that they're able to get their crops in. Now, we can keep when you talk about pricing, we just don't know what's being done in other places, but at the same time, we get a price every day from the local elevators on what the market's doing. So farmers can make those kind of decisions. And hopefully most of the farmers have got a relationship with either their bankers or with ag credit, farm credit, or they're farming out of their pocket, that they've got the money that they can continue to operate on. So, but it's going to be a problem, a real problem for a certain number of our producers.
Is it going to be a problem in terms of they're just going to have to adjust and find a new way to do business, or is it going to be a problem in that they cannot sustain their business models with the status quo?
Most of them should be able to sustain their business models with what they're doing. Now, but we're talking about the government shutdown right now. When you talk about the Farm Bill not being done, then that's going to be your plans and stuff that you need to start making right now.
All right, well, let's segue then. Let's talk about the lack of a true farm bill. We've got a divided House and a Senate on that issue. Tell me where you're seeing it impact Arkansas agriculture.
Where I'm seeing it impact on the Farm Bill?
Yes.
On the Farm Bill, what I'm seeing is we have no plan to go ahead. This is 2 years in a row now. We come up at the end of the 2008 Farm Bill, when it played out, they couldn't pass a Farm Bill. They extended it for 1 year. That worked out real well for 1 year. But now it's another year and everything's gone away again. So they've got to make a decision, and I'm talking about Congress, they've got to make a decision to come with a new Farm Bill, or extend the old one. And I've heard talks from working with some of our congressional delegation in the past few weeks both ways, extending it. Well, if they extend it for another year, I hope that's not, I mean, that's like putting a Band-Aid on an artery that's bleeding real bad. We need at least a 2-year program. We're looking out ahead all the time, just like any successful business. A farmer has to be looking ahead to what crops he's going to plant, what the price is going to be on, what the support price is going to be. That's going to set the market on a lot of things, to know what to plan for in the future. Okay, your ag lenders are sitting here. They don't know what to do because there's not a farm program, and they'll be using the smallest price that they think they can get by with to try to do crop loans, and it's just not going to work.
If you took the House's version of the Farm Bill that's specifically focused on agriculture, not the nutrition programs that they split out, but the agriculture part of it, and you took the Senate's portion, which is a lot more comprehensive, holistic approach to it. If you took just the agriculture parts of it, the farm parts of it that you're talking about in terms of planning and policy, could they reconcile those and come to a pretty quick conclusion?
The Senate has, from what I can understand, the Senate has appointed their conferees for the conference.
True.
But the House is not. And I don't know what they're waiting on, but yes, I think they could. I mean, you know, the old saying is legislation's like sausage. You don't need to watch it being made all the time. But
spoken like a true former legislator.
That's right. But there's got, years ago, I've been to several meetings and conferences and heard a lot of economists talk, and I know from my past experience in farming, that your northern congressmen and senators and your southern congressmen and senators would get together and they'd work out a compromise what was good for all of agriculture. Everybody got a little piece of the pie. Nobody got exactly what they wanted, but they got a piece of the pie. Then you threw in the nutrition from the big cities where most of that money goes, or used to go anyhow. And you would get a compromise amongst all the members. And they would come up with a farm bill that we could all live with. Apparently, something's happened in Washington, and that ideology has taken over maybe more than what compromise has taken on certain areas. And I hope they get back to the point where they can all sit down and talk to each other and work out problems that'll help this country. This debt ceiling and the government shutdown, we're looking at some serious problems in this country. Not just for agriculture, but for everything.
I agree. And that's Butch Calhoun, Arkansas's Agriculture Secretary. Now, here are some quick facts about agriculture and farming in the natural state. Agriculture is an $8 billion industry in Arkansas. It accounts for nearly 25% of the state's economy. Roughly 1/2 of the state's land is devoted to agriculture. And there are an estimated 49,350 farms in the state of Arkansas.